everyone, I'm Cheryl Butler, and you're listening to the Mighty Mommy's Quick and Dirty Tips podcast, which will help make your life as a parent a little bit easier and a lot more fun. Welcome! This is episode number 320, titled 6 Tips to Help Your Kids Have a Cleaner Bedroom. So, whether you have one child or 8 like I do, take a listen to see how you can help your child keep his or her things in better order. When I first became a mom nearly 20 years ago, not only was I absolutely crazy about my new baby girl, I was also crazy about all the paraphernalia and gear that came along with this tiny little being. It quickly became clear that along with having kids, you also end up having lots of stuff. Now, 8 kids later, we have acquired more kid-related odds and ends than I ever dreamed of. And you know where most of that stuff ends up, don't you? Yep, in their bedrooms. With several kids sharing a bedroom over the years, I would often get overwhelmed with the chaotic state of their rooms. Even my kids, who were organized, still managed to collect little cars, stuffed animals, clothing, game pieces, empty juice boxes, and more clutter all over their bedroom floor, under their beds, and anywhere else there was a space for a pile. Thankfully, their bedrooms all have doors, so it was easy enough to close off the unsightly mess when I really couldn't stand it any longer. But after too many mornings frantically searching for the mate of a shoe or a homework binder, I realized that although a messy room isn't the end of the world, my kids needed to learn how to take care of their things and their living space, and I bet your kids could too. That's why today, Mighty Mommy shares 6 tips to help your kids keep their bedrooms clean and organized. Tip number 1. Announce the new expectations. If you want to encourage your child to tidy up his or her surroundings after a long period of chaos, you need to set aside time to clearly state what the new requirements are from now on. This is true whether your child is 5 years old or a moody teen. Chances are, regardless of age, your child is going to need a lot of direction and help to get started. But it's important for him to take ownership of this overhaul. Help him realize that the mess is making things more difficult for him, and that you will help implement a process that he will be able to maintain once it gets done. Be clear and concise, and don't nag. Sell your child on the benefits of keeping a tidy space. Less time wasted looking for lost items, a more inviting place for them to hang out with their friends, or whatever other reason you can come up with that would actually incentivize your child to get on board. And if that includes a small bribe, so be it. And tip number 2, help minimize stuff. One of my favorite mantras is less is more. Taking a good inventory of what your kids have in their bedrooms is a great place to start as you get ready to teach them better organizational habits. Do they really need 20 stuffed animals piled up on the end of the bed? Could a dozen books be donated or traded with friends instead of having them scattered all over the floor? Why are they hanging on to Barbies with missing legs and Xbox games that they haven't played in months? Even though it might be tempting to grab a large garbage bag and start chucking while your kids are off to school, the better approach is to get your child's input on what stays and what goes. Once things are pared down, it makes it much easier to organize the remaining items and keepsakes that are really important to them. Tip number 3, organize from the ground up. When you declutter your kids' rooms, keep toys and belongings used most often on lower shelves, in lower drawers, or on the floor. Higher levels are for less frequently used items or items that you believe need adult supervision. Use an under-the-bed storage bin that's long and flat to hold things that your child likes to play with for extra storage, or for items that your tweens and teens don't use on a daily basis. Keep visual noise at bay by using the same type of coat hangers in their closets. This makes any closet more streamlined and neat. Install simple plastic hooks for coats, backpacks, and hats, so each item has a dedicated place. And then teach your kids the value of having a place to put their things and get them into the habit of hanging stuff up or putting it away rather than just walking in the room and tossing everything in a heap on the floor. During the first few days or weeks of this new routine, don't expect kids to remember to put things away by themselves, even teens. New habits take time to format. Give your kids friendly and encouraging reminders that you all agreed on that they now have new expectations. Tip number 4, Set an example and don't waver from those expectations. Kids learn from example. Hey, if they see your room a mess and other areas in the house a complete disaster, why should they bother keeping their own bedrooms clean? You know what I mean? If keeping your own room orderly hasn't always been a top priority, and I know I fell into this category too, take this opportunity to practice what you preach. You will certainly hear grumblings about the new expectations, but the key is not to bargain, negotiate, or strike deals with your kids. Likewise, don't nag or yell. Simply choose a calm and no-nonsense approach. Make it a non-negotiable that from now on there will be a regular cleanup time during the week where everyone has a job to do. Pick a day and time that works for your family and then stick with it. In our household, our 5 bedrooms, including mine, get tidied before we head out to do our weekend activities. So by late Saturday morning, we put our clothes away, pick up toys, crafts, homework projects, vacuum, and straighten up bookshelves and desktops. All this must be done before we head out to sporting activities, food shopping, or anything else that we might have on the list. Tip number 5, schedule regular purges. My kids don't necessarily like to clean their rooms every week, but once they realized that they had to take responsibility for their own possessions, it has helped make the value of these possessions much more apparent. To help keep the content of their rooms manageable, I schedule regular purges on the family calendar every 3 to 4 months. So rather than let items creep into their drawers, closets, and vacant space throughout the rooms, we take a few hours every few months and get rid of anything that we're not wearing, playing with, reading, or just simply using. By doing this regularly, it takes far less time and it's not as overwhelming as an annual purge. An added bonus is that we have tons of stuff that we can donate to local charities, which further helps reinforce the value of objects that the kids may otherwise take for granted. And tip number 6, notice and praise their efforts. In the early weeks of implementing your family's new clean bedroom policy, be sure to take notice of any kind of attempts at compliance. If you notice your son keeping his Legos off the floor and in their storage case when he's not using them, pop your head in his door and comment about his good soccer game and throw in a little, "Hey, thanks for taking the time and effort to keep your room organized." Do this frequently in the early weeks, making sure to catch them while they're cleaning, not afterwards. This is essential because your consistent praise and attention of their efforts will help them build strong habits. And eventually, you won't need to do this as frequently. But don't underestimate the power of a little praise, even months later. We all enjoy a positive reinforcement, and this acts as a great motivator for them to continue keeping their rooms up to snuff. What are some techniques that you've implemented in your home to help keep it running smoothly? Share them with us in the comments section at quickanddirtytips.com/mighty-mommy or post your ideas on the Mighty Mommy Facebook page. You can also email me at mommy@quickanddirtytips.com, and I hope you'll visit my family-friendly boards at pinterest.com/mightymommyqdt. And be sure to sign up for the upcoming Mighty Mommy newsletter, which is chock full of practical advice to make your parenting life easier and more enjoyable. And, Mighty Mommy fans, if you like listening to my podcast, why not subscribe to our Quick and Dirty Tips newsletters? You'll get exclusive content, offers, and more delivered right to your inbox from information from all our hosts. Just head over to quickanddirtytips.com/newsletters to learn more. That's quickanddirtytips.com/newsletters. Thanks for listening, and until next time, happy parenting.